Hello there, friends. It's Jackie Ballhays from Clumpin' Stampers. Man, fall is in the air, isn't it? I love fall and I love the colors of fall. So today I've got a card to share with you that uses a beautiful fall leaf stamp set and some fall colors. Now, we're not going to stop at one. One thing I like to do when I create is I pull out a couple colors that I'll use in inks and cardstock, maybe one embellishment, and then I'll create several cards with the same products. So I'm going to make one for you today, and then I have 5 other ones to share with you. So you'll get a total of 6 ideas for using our Artistic Leaves stamp set. They're all super simple and have that great fall look. So I hope you enjoy the projects today. Let's go ahead, flip the camera down so we can get crafting. So let's just take a peek at the stamp set. It's called Artistic Leaves, and I love it. Every fall, I get so excited to be able to stamp leaves. It's just kind of my favorite season to stamp for, I guess. Now, this stamp, you'll see here, is a 2-step. There's actually a 2-step small leaf and a 2-step large leaf. We're going to use the large one. And what we're going to do, let's go ahead and start on our piece of basic white scrap paper here. And I'm going to start with, I call it the outline one. The stamp, it's a little bit different because there's a lot of detail just in this stamp. And it would be beautiful, and I think I might have on some of my other projects, to actually leave it just like that. You wouldn't have to do the 2-step. But watch it come to life when I use the other stamp on top of it. So we stamped with Cajun Craze, and then this one, and hopefully I don't get my head in the way here. You got to kind of twist it and figure out where it goes. And we're going to stamp right on top of it with crushed curry. And look at how gorgeous that is. I love this leaf so much. Now, I will be totally honest, and you'll see in those other samples, I didn't like this one as much when I stamped them together. So I tended to just use this piece, okay? So there's that. Now, while we're still on the scrap paper here, I'm gonna go ahead and stamp my greeting because both of these are gonna need to be cut out. But I thought I'd share a little tip. I don't share this all the time. I like to always make sure my greetings are on, or any stamp really, but it's most important with greetings, that they are on my block straight. So the way I do that with the clear, the photopolymer, is I first lay it down on my grid paper and I can see through it. So I'm just using a grid line. So it's straight on a grid line. And then I take a block and I push it down to pick it up. Now, when I lay the block down on top of it, I will also use grid lines. Okay, let's see here. I'm at a weird angle. Usually I'm like straight above it. But my block, I use the grid line here. So now this should be straight. Okay, just a little tip for mounting your stamps. Now, this greeting I'm going to actually cut out. So I am going to put it way down right along the edge of the cardstock there. And then take my paper trimmer here. You know, especially with like narrow greetings, I always like to just stamp them on the edge and then trim them down. Okay, so I don't even know what measurement it is. Now, speaking of measurements, don't forget there will be a video, link in the video description. Speak, Jackie. That will take you over to a blog post. And over there, I will have pictures of the card I make plus the other 5. So all 6 of the cards. And I will give you all, well, the supplies, but more importantly, all the measurements so that you'll be able to make all of these cards if you want to. So check that out. And then this, unfortunately, this set does not come with any dies. So we're going to just go ahead and use the scissors. Now, honestly, this one is really easy to cut out. So I did not mind fussy cutting this at all for my card. So we'll just do that. And we're zooming in here on the end of September. So fall will really be in the air. Make sure that you are on my email list if you are not. You can sign up for that. There'll be a link in the video description, but also over on that blog post, because starting next month in October, I am super excited about a brand new tutorial that I will be bringing to you every month, Card Making Made Simple, and it will be a tutorial. Each month will have one easy technique, one easy fun fold, and one brand new card template. So we're bringing all the things together that I love to share with you into a monthly tutorial class that you'll be able to get when you place an order with me. You're not going to want to miss it. It'll be free with an order, or we'll also have it available for purchase, but it'll be a great inspiration for you. So make sure you're on the email list so you'll get all the details coming soon. Okay, we are almost cut out here. See, I can just cut and babble, right? Sometimes these little pieces are a little tricky to get out there. There we go. Okay, that is done. That's the hardest part about this whole card. Okay, let's bring in a piece of basic beige here. This is what I'm going to build my focal layer on. And I'm going to come back to that more detailed stamp of the leaf here. And we're going to go ahead and just stamp it kind of off, kind of crooked, like so, because this leaf is going to go right there. So it's just building my background. But before I put this one on, we're going to grab our Secret C. Okay, remember, this is Jackie's new black. I use this all the time instead of black now. And this stamp comes with stamp set has a little speckle stamp in it. And so I like to just add a few black little speckles. This is one of those things you got to be really careful, because I've seen people, kind of do this and they just totally kill their image, like way too much. Light hand, barely touch it, a few here, a few there. It's one of those that's like, as you're making your card and you feel like, oh, I just need one more thing. My background's just a little bare. Add just a couple little speckles and it really changes the look of everything. Okay, we're going to put that on a piece of Secret C, like so. And then let's grab our dimensionals. We're going to pop this leaf up. So this card really is stamps, ink, and paper. It's really a SIP card with some layers. A lot of times SIP cards I don't layer, but I've done a lot of videos. I like to teach, especially new people, when you are stamping, you don't need anything more than stamps, ink, and paper. And we call it SIP. So it's take a sip, a little SIP card. So we're going to just add that one right there like so. And then we have our greeting that we cut out. Let's go ahead and stick some dimensionals. Now over on the right side here, let's make sure. Yep. On the right, I don't want to go way out to the edge, and you'll see why here in just a second. And we're going to somehow, let's see, put it over. Where do we want to go here? Sometimes this is the hardest part. Like, where should I stick this? Let's just go right about there. I like it when it comes and it hangs off of the right. So we did that a little bit. And then, that I said speckles, when you think the card needs one more little thing. The other thing I do on probably 99% of my cards, I get that far and I think to myself, it needs one more little thing. And that one little thing for me is almost always a little linen bow. It's kind of become my little trademark. If you're out there scrolling Pinterest, I've had people tell me they've recognized my cards just because they all have a linen bow on it. So, but it just becomes my go-to. I think we all, as crafters, end up with little go-to items. So now I'm using a glue dot, a mini glue dot, and notice how I put it in my finger first and I'm kind of rolling it up into a little ball. I want to make it smaller so that when I tuck it underneath that knot, you don't really see it. And so we'll just stick that on there. And then I've got some adhesive back sequins here. I like to, just for an extra little touch, add some type of embellishment on my card. These are kind of a go-to, or rhinestones are a go-to. And I usually add 3, kind of in a triangle type pattern. But there we go. There is our focal panel of our card. And then all I'm going to do is go ahead and stick some dimensionals and pop this up as well. And then we'll be done with this one. I'll be able to pull in those other 5 to show you. Because again, you can see I didn't use a lot of supplies here. And I pretty much used the same ones to make the other 5 cards. So come on, I can't get that one off. There we go. And we're just going to stick that down like that. And look at how easy that was and what a pretty card. Now I'm gonna bring in, this was my original, I've been kind of copying here. And remember when I said with this, don't put a dimensional way over to the edge? It's a little more obvious here because if there was a dimensional, then it would bend down. Okay, because I knew this was gonna hang over that edge, so I didn't want that dimensional. So this one I think has one about right there, there, and there. Okay, so there is the first card. Now, let me, as I was creating, I started with that one. Actually, this one was made when I created this. I also used it for a team event last month. We did a shoebox swap. And so we all prepared a card for everybody to make. And that was the one they all got to make of mine. So a lot of my team members have seen this already. Then I pulled out the birch embossing folder to add to this one. But here you can see I used that smaller leaf and I've got it stamped down here and then stamped here and cut out. So I kind of did this a lot like I did that. But I just wasn't loving putting the yellow or another color in there. So I left it white. I like the crispness of it that way. So there's that one. And then I still had the little birch folder. So I just die cut a square, or you could cut a square. And again, you can see all of these have those little speckles on there. Just, I don't know, even for fall, I think I don't know, some people call it grunge, or it just takes some of that starkness of the white away. So there's our large leaf. And I hope you can see with all these cards how they're all the same products. And I just kind of used different pieces, laid it out a little different. Here I brought in a couple more colors, okay? But each one of these leaves, I did the same thing like I did here. I stamped and then I cut out one. And I like kind of the dimension that gave you. Now, that's only, what do we got? We got 5. Oh gosh, we got 7 cards altogether. I was thinking it was 6 altogether. So those are all on that Cajun Craze background, okay, for the card base. Then I did this one and I wanted to, I love basic beige. We use that all the time, but I didn't want it to be quite as dark looking, but I wanted more leaves. So you can see I started by stamping the 3 leaves, the 2-step, and then I kind of filled in between them by inking up that large stamp and stamping it on scrap paper first to make it lighter. So that gives me all that depth in there. So there's that one. And then here's a second one using the smaller leaves. The leaves are not cut out on either one of these. And I just layered, or stamped my leaves in different fall colors across the front, added a few speckles in my greeting. So there we go. We have 7. Oh, wait, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it is 6 because I had this extra one sitting from the one I made. So there's 7 different cards. So make sure you use the link in the video description to go over to the blog post. If you'd like to order any of the products that I ordered, I'll have them all listed over there for you. And I'd appreciate it if you pick me to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Got some freebies for you if you order from me. And then you can grab all the measurements so that you can create these cards as well. I hope you like the projects today, and we'll be stamping again real soon. Have a stamp happy day.